If you look at this, you'll see, although it kind of looks all white to you guys, 5 or 6 feet down, absolutely no insulation. We're going to fill that up with a pump green fiber insulation, which is fireproof and made out of recycled paper, and we're going to fill all these areas up. This is us blowing in insulation, filling it up. It's way better than not having any insulation at all, which would be called ghosting whenever you show shadows because of no insulation, which will show you that also. I guess we've already shown you. Now you see the area is getting all full, way fuller than the factory, or what they originally started with as a brand new house. Put it around 12, 14. So, hold on. Alright, it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like a snowstorm up here, but I'm almost 12 to 14 inches, which is 6 inches above the 2x6s or more. And it'll settle down to 12 and be like an R64. And when you handle this, sometimes you have to keep in account that the wind will literally push the insulation away from where you want it to be. So you end up bouncing it off the ceiling so it'll fall where you want it to. I know you can't hardly tell, but just keep in mind it's something you get used to as you do it. And an R64 is really what you want. You end up with 12 inches deep of insulation. That keeps the air conditioning in and the heat out, or the heat in and the cold air out. That makes your house more efficient. And I know that the customer didn't pay me to do the whole area, but I bought extra, and always do more than what I say I do. And my goal, and I tell my guys, is to make other people's lives better. So you wouldn't be throwing a fit if you smash your finger and cussing and swearing because things didn't go your way, because that's violence in their life. And what we're trying to do is make their life better. Well, they paid me to fix this house so that it would be better and be able to be sold, so they can move on to their dreams, and somebody else can move into a dream home of their own. So what I'm doing is something that may never be seen, but I go home at night knowing I did a good job. I hope that everybody lives their life that way. I'm sure that it's a challenge at times, but it's worth it. That way you can have righteous indignation if somebody accuses you of wrongdoing. If you don't do wrong, you don't have to have a conscience that's bothered all the time. Do a good job. This is the arrangement that you're using. It's called green fiber. Ends up with paddles inside here, which I'll show you in a little bit, and you pull this stuff into it. Most of the guys would like to use a mask. I suggest you do, but I get where I can't see because of the mask sometimes. I just don't do it, but it's a good habit. The hoses quite often are in disrepair. There's a gate down here at the bottom that you have to adjust right here. You want to pull it all the way out because it's rarely that you don't want full blast. And you keep an eye on your hoses because they'll end up with a mess if you end up with one like that that's not put together. It should be better than this, but the Lowe's is not maintaining their equipment. I understand they're under a jam. But this is a machine that you can rent, and it's for very, very little. If you get 20 bags, I think it's free. So you can do all this stuff yourself. Turn it on, James, and then do it. Don't have to get over there too far, nothing, just spread it around this last bag and a half. noise. But if you see there's these bars here, you're not technically supposed to put your hands below it. You can, but you're not supposed to. So I suggest.
While you were taping, I was like, yeah, I'll do this, and somebody go, oh, you did it.
So in a little bit, this is when we finally run out, you'll see the paddles that are smashing it and moving it around, and then the pump that blows it out. It's just a basic high-powered blower, blows air, which is blowing the insulation with it, which is all ground up. I usually run it until it runs out of insulation, that way you don't have all the cleanup. And you have to make sure it runs out of the pipe too. So even though it might be out of here, it takes a little while to get it all out of the pipe. When you rent these things, make sure you check them. Because quite often you could be charged for some damage that was done before you even saw the machine. Getting close to seeing the grinders or whatever paddles, they have rubber heels on them, so they're not technically supposed to be able to hurt you, but believe me, you can stick your hand in there between the metal sides and they'll probably catch you. So we're coming to an end. Shutting down here shortly. Alright, so now you see what would cause that. What is cold air getting against the warm air inside, or hot air with cold air inside, it collects whatever's floating in the air up against it. And you can see the rafters. So this is what I'm hearing you call ghosting. So whenever that happens, then you got to fix it. And this is what we did.